Christine. Saturn's over here meowing at me, so we'll see if she leaves me be for just a second. I don't actually know what she wants. I've given her a treat. I don't know. Anyway, it is time for a scrapbook process video, and it is a BoBunny stash bash. And this is from 2017. I was thinking to myself, I said, have I already gotten into these? But I guess I have. I didn't see anything else extra before. So it's 2017, and it is called Once Upon a Lifetime. Well, here it is right here, duh. And you guys, I have to be honest, this is probably my favorite one I've pulled out so far. I don't know if it's because all the other collections were just so old. You know, they weren't trendy, or I don't really know. But this is the one I'm like, oh, this one's really pretty. And it's clearly like a heritage one. So we got like, you know, this sheet of paper, and I'll show you in a second. It has like grandmas and grandpas and this, that, and the other. I will say the stickers are a little better. So now we have geotags. We have some triangles and some circles. They're still not, there's a little arrow here. So they're not like, and actually I got a tag now. So they're getting a little bit better in the sense of like, they're not just squares. We have a little scallop border here, which is great. Another little border sticker, some little tickets and things. So we're getting a little bit more advanced on the sticker technology. And I'm not going to lie, I got excited because I go, look at this gorgeous wood grain. So they started introducing like wood grains and stuff, unless, I don't know if they're on the previous ones. I don't think so. But you see, this is like a old-timey photos and things. So it's heritage. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to start pulling out my heritage, like older photos. Look at all these really pretty. I also have in here, oh, there's this brick pattern. I think I've used that actually pretty recently on something. I say recently, it's probably in the last year. I don't know what that is. There's a few double dots in here. I must have just thought they went well. So like a tan and a peachy color and a yellow. Brocade kind of looking thing. I think that does look really pretty. Actually, look at that. That looks really pretty with it. So, I'm liking this collection, you guys. I'm not going to lie. So, what I've pulled out is this photo. This is actually the original. It's a Polaroid, and it's, I don't know how this was made back then. It's on a little piece of cardboard. Looks like it's like stuck to it, but it's my mama and my daddy. Back in the day, I think this was her senior prom, and they just look so young and handsome. And I thought, you know what, I'll just dock. Oh, and I got some buttons too. So actually, to be honest, when it comes to like embellishments, all I have is these little bit of stickers and these buttons. So I don't have a lot. So I may end up having to get into stash at some point. I did take a picture of this and then printed it. I didn't want to mess with the original. So that's going to be put back in my box of photos. But that's what I have there. So I thought also too, the colors would be neat. There's this brick behind them. So we may be going that direction, right? Because there's this pretty brick behind them. And it's really similar. I don't know what I'm going to do from a design perspective. I need to think on it. I do think I should like frame it just because there's so many papers. Oh, there's a blue brick, but I think I'm going to use the white one. I could go with this floral since my mama's wearing a blue dress with a floral. I don't like that though. This right here on behind that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I've got a few little scraps. It's not really helpful from a framing perspective. I don't want to use the wood grain on this because that would ruin the fact that I got a wood grain. I don't know that the green would work. The blue might work if I could trim this little bit off here or something like that. That might work. I might go that direction. I mean, I've got this little piece down here, but that's okay. I might go that direction because I actually kind of want to keep this with, for another layout with like maybe this stuff. Maybe I'll make myself some little page kits. What do you guys think? Oh, I do have some of this on the back. They're strolling down memory lane. That could be cute. I feel like I got this paper somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I used it before. I could have sworn. Anyway. There's cool little letters. That could be really fun too. I don't know. I'm going to keep these together, I think. Because, like I said, I kind of like... what happened to that? I had two... Oh, there they are. Let's just keep these together, you guys. Let's look good together. And then, you know what? I don't know. Should I just build my little kits real quick? probably shouldn't do that really. This could be good together. I got these little windows. This could be pretty cut out. I wonder if I could just... This is neat. Look at this with the typewriter letters. That could be great. And this could be good together. I don't know, you guys. What do you think if I grab these? Oh, I got these little scraps here. These could go over here just as a extra. Okay. I don't know why I just did that. That's got nothing to do with this particular layout, but it is what it is. So, this is what I'm thinking. Although, you know what? I just said that, and I have these scraps. I may try to use these scraps. Because this is pretty. Okay. Let me trim some stuff down and get started. I need to figure out my design. And we'll be back on in a second. Okay, well, my design's going to end up being layers upon layers upon layers. And you'll see in just a second what I'm talking about. I've got that little wood grain strip first. And then I had those two scraps, the green, I don't know what that is. Some little old patterns in there. It looks like it's got a little crown on top of like buttons or nail heads or something. And then the stripe. I'm going to layer all that stuff. And you'll see in a minute what I do next for all my layers. But I should tell you, those little mini kits I was kind of putting together on the fly there, I did get a couple of paper clips and I put those together. So when I go to do layouts moving forward this kit, I'll remember what I liked about it. And Miss Cleo is just all in my business. She was in a mood this morning. She aggravated Saturn. I don't know. She was trying to play. Like, she's trying to play, but Saturn doesn't take it like that. She gets really angry. And neither one of them can really hurt each other. So I'm not like worried about it, but I kind of hate it that Saturn gets so mad. And then Cleo's over here like, I'll just be sassy. And right now she's being really sassy because she's in the middle of our stuff here. So I've got the photo. I did take a piece of packaging that has, it's white cardstock basically, and I matted the photo. And then I took the blue and I matted it again. And I am going to scuff the edges of all these papers. I actually remembered to scuff basically everything. And so I'm going to scuff these two pieces. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to find the paper that had all the little windows printed on it, and I'm going to cut all those windows out. I don't think I'll leave that on camera. Gosh, I hope not, because that took me just a minute. Let's see. I'm going to organize these. I'm going to basically end up with, I'm not going to call it an L really, because the vertical piece doesn't go all the way to the top, but it's like this kind of descending steps L is what I'm going to end up with. I do tear this one side over here. That's the only one I actually tear, but I thought it looked kind of neat. I will end up using my title. The title's going to end up being out of the sticker sheet. So I was proud of myself too. I do not want to put this sticker sheet back in my sticker box for a stick with me deal. So I'm hopeful. I didn't use a ton. I did use some though. I'm hopeful as I do the next few layouts, I'm going to use a lot more of those stickers. Here's where I have cut those windows. Okay, so I didn't leave it in the filming. That's good. Here's where I've cut all the little windows and I've scuffed all the edges of the windows. And I'm going to just start building layers of these windows all around. Those in the upper right, I actually think this looks really pretty. There was like one piece of stained glass window, and I thought that's so pretty. So I bring it up there, and then I'm going to just, like I said, I'm going to fast around a little bit, just trying to figure out where I can put these. Most of them were not complete, meaning, you know, the side of it was like not a full window or something like that, if I can explain it. Like not the full frame, I guess. And so I'm trying to tuck them in there where you can't see the edge where it just basically ends. See that blue in there is kind of complete. He's got a little wider thing on the left. So that's, I'm going to put it where the left is the part you see. But like that brown one there, like the side of it is not complete. So anyway, I'm tucking these all things in there. And then that peachy colored one with the little chicken wire, that went down in there because it's not. Now this yellow one here, it's not complete on two sides. And so I'm going to stick that there, but I'll cover that up. It'll be okay. And I'm going to fast and they kind of shift and this, that, and the other. I'll end up starting to pull in my ATG. I do not remember if I cut some of this out, and I apologize if I leave it in here because I'm just trying to, I don't want them to move. Just like I don't want them to move. And then I almost mess up, you guys, because I'm rotating my paper. And you can see I've got the title set over there. The little stickers are set there. And I bump it with my corner. And at one point I bump it. You're probably going to see it in the video. And I didn't notice it when I was doing it. That's so funny too. Like I'll do something and not realize what I've done. And yet if I went back and watched the video, I'd know exactly what I did. But anyway, I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to catch my, I can't remember which R. I think it's the senior, the R or something. Anyway, I'm going to start messing with my letters. And I'm going to end up losing one for a second. And like there, no, it's the prom one. Do you see? It's not there where it's supposed to be. And I look over and I realize, oh shoot, I'm moving these around. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to lose there's not a ton of, I mean, I've got most of the letters, but anyway, I fixed it and I got everything glued down. And I'm going to come back in a second and put my title down. I gave myself a heart attack, really, because I was like, oh, gosh. I do put this little sticker. It says Preserving the Past. That's one of the stickers, the little square stickers. And I'm going to do that to hide that little yellow window piece that ends up there. So it's going to go up there. And that hides that end. The title is Vintage Senior Prom. I've texted my mom. I think this is 1968, but I'm waiting for her to respond. And once she does, I will put it on the label that I have underneath the photo. This is my mom and dad. They have since moved on and married other folks, and so I have bonus parents. But this was I think he took her to her prom. I hope to God this is her senior prom, and I'm not mislabeling that, Mama. If I did, I apologize. I know it was some kind of dance, but I hope it's her senior prom because that's the title it got. If not, I'll just have to write on the back. Oops. Anyways, I'm glued all my little stickers now. I will come back in with Nuvo glue, by the way, because they're just they're sticky, but not real sticky. This little square on for the eye was giving me a little bit of fits. I was trying to pick it up with them tweezers, and it just wouldn't do it. And I finally got it. Saturn has now joined us. She's on the left side over there. So you guys, I saw Cleo earlier. Now I got Saturn. Saturn was wanting a lot of love. She was so cute this morning. She was just purring. She climbs on, when she wants my attention, she sits right on everything. I was actually on my work computer this morning doing a few things, and she just climbed right on top of everything. There was this sticker here that said Family Tree. This is my mom and dad, so I think that works. Memories, I think, works okay. Again, I've got that Vintage Senior Prom, and I'm just waiting on her to give me the year, and I'll put that on the label underneath the photo, which I mentioned already. Then I noticed, hey, there's some little circle bits here, and I picked this one up, and I didn't realize it was split. And I go, oh, that's kind of neat. And so I decide I've got all these square elements, right? I need to add some round stuff. And so I took the little halves there that I did, like I said, I didn't realize before I picked it up that it was it was halves. Then I find that little thing that looks like a little star nail button thing. I stick that there, and then there's a couple of more little circles I stick up by that Preserving the Past. Again, I'm just trying to create some roundness. I did pick up one or two little stickers here, and I thought, can I use these? And no, they go back. I decided against them. What is that? I think that's another piece that I put back. I don't think I used it either. I think maybe, but then I put it back. So I will end up with 2 more circles, though. So give me 1 second before I set that down. They're on the top row. So there's some that are circles that have little squares around them. And then there's some that are circles that are cut into circles. So the circles are the ones that are cut into circles, the ones I want. So, and also I'm trying to mix up the colors a little bit. Like the color palette is in those little buttons / whatever those are. And I'm trying to mix up that a little bit. I like how that looks, though. Like I said, it kind of softens the lines a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do, I have this little baggie of buttons and some sequins and stuff. And I thought, I'll sprinkle those around and just add a few little interesting little visual bits. So I'm going to sprinkle them. I'm not going to glue them on camera, but I will come back in with Nuvo glue and glue them all down. And it's just a nice little mix. There's, like I said, there's some buttons. There's a few sequins. There's some half pearls. And I really enjoyed this. Like I said, this is a great collection. I had not remembered it. And I know I would have liked this a whole lot back when I got it. So I think the colors are really pretty too. Kind of a unique set of colors, I think. And I really enjoy how these windows turn out. And I think it looks cool because in the window in the photo, has like little detail on it. So I thought using the windows and the brick really kind of plays on the background a little bit. And so I really enjoyed that. This takes me just a second. There's some tiny little sequins that get stuck to my hand and I couldn't get them off. Yeah, it took me just a second. And I thought maybe I could use the whole baggie and then went, nope, there's too many. I'm not going to do that. So in just a moment, I'm going to put the rest of those back in there. And like I said, I'm going to go off camera and I will glue them down with some Nuvo glue. But that is actually the layout. And you guys, I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it looks really neat. I really do. I just got to get my mama to give me the year and I'll put that on there. So there we go. There's all my little scuffed edges and the sequins you can kind of see and the little textures and the scuffing and all that kind of stuff. I think this turned out so cute. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this was a 2017 collection. So only 8 years behind or something like that. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to do the little like button and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. And we will see you next time. Bye.